The alien princess turned cold. Then one human smiled. Princess. Zara stood at the massive window of her palace ship watching the blue planet below. Her purple skin gleamed under the artificial lights, and her silver eyes held no warmth. The Vorthak Empire had conquered hundreds of worlds, but Earth would be different. This time she would personally oversee the invasion. The humans had fought bravely for 3 years, but their weapons were no match for Vorthak technology. Soon their leaders would surrender, and another species would bow before her father, the Emperor. Yet something about these creatures troubled her. They never stopped fighting, even when defeat seemed certain. Captain Lisa Morgan sat in the detention cell aboard the alien vessel. Her uniform was torn, and her face bore fresh cuts from the battle, but her eyes still burned with defiance. She had volunteered for the suicide mission to board the enemy flagship, knowing she would likely never return. The plan had failed, but she had gathered valuable intelligence about their captors. The door to her cell dissolved into particles of light. Princess Zara entered, flanked by 2 massive guards. The alien woman was beautiful in a terrifying way. Her movements were graceful like a predator, and her presence filled the small space with an aura of power. "You are the one they call Captain Morgan." Zara spoke in perfect English, her voice melodic yet cold. "Your people fought well, but it is over. Your leaders will surrender within the solar cycle." Lisa stood slowly, her legs shaky from the interrogation drugs. "They will never surrender. Not while humans still breathe. You don't understand us at all, do you?" Zara tilted her head, studying the human woman. "I understand that your species is stubborn beyond reason. You throw away lives for concepts that have no meaning. Honor, courage, sacrifice. These words are empty when faced with superior force. Those words are what make us human," Lisa replied, her voice growing stronger. "Something your kind apparently lost long ago, if you ever had it." The guards moved forward, but Zara raised a hand to stop them. She had executed prisoners for less than what this human just said. Yet something made her hesitate. The way Lisa stood, despite her injuries, the fire in her eyes that refused to die, it reminded Zara of something she had lost long ago. "Tell me, human, what makes your species so willing to die for nothing?" Lisa smiled, and it was not the expression of a defeated prisoner. "We don't die for nothing. We die for each other. For the idea that somewhere in this vast universe there should be a place where beings can choose their own path. Your empire conquers and enslaves, but you will never understand what you are trying to destroy." Zara felt an unfamiliar emotion stirring in her chest. For centuries she had been the perfect weapon for her father. Cold, efficient, merciless. The weak fell before her strength, and she felt nothing. But this human looked at her without fear, without hatred. Only sadness, as if she pitied the princess of the greatest empire in the galaxy. "Your words change nothing. The invasion continues at dawn." But as Zara left the cell, she found herself thinking about Lisa's smile. It was genuine. Despite everything the woman had endured. How long had it been since someone had smiled at her like that? Not in fear or desperate hope for mercy, but with something that looked almost like compassion. That night, Zara could not sleep. She walked the empty corridors of her ship past the weapons bay where fusion bombs waited to glass human cities, past the command center, where her officers planned the final assault. She found herself at the observation deck staring at the planet below. Millions of lights dotted the night side of Earth. Each one represented human lives that would soon be extinguished under her command. She had done this hundreds of times before, but tonight it felt different. The humans were not just another species to conquer. They were individuals with hopes and dreams and the courage to fight for what they believed in. A soft sound made her turn. Lisa stood in the doorway, no longer wearing shackles. The guards she had bribed to bring the human here waited in the corridor. "Why did you bring me here?" Lisa asked, stepping closer to the window. "I wanted to understand," Zara replied, her voice barely a whisper. "What you said about dying for each other, I have conquered worlds, but I have never understood what drives your kind to such sacrifice." Lisa moved to stand beside the princess, looking down at her homeworld. "We fight because we love, princess. Because somewhere down there are children who deserve to grow up free. Because there are old couples who should get to watch sunsets together. Because every life has value, not just the strong ones. The strong survive, that is the law of the universe, Zara said. But the words sounded hollow even to her. Maybe in your universe. But humans learned long ago that true strength comes from protecting the weak, from lifting each other up instead of climbing over bodies to reach the top. Zara turned to look at Lisa. The human woman was smaller than her, weaker by every measure the Vorthak used. Yet there was something unbreakable in her spirit, something that all the Empire's weapons could not touch. Your people will be destroyed. You cannot stop what is coming. Maybe not, Lisa said. But we will face it together, and that is something your Empire can never take from us. As dawn approached, Zara stood on the bridge of her flagship. The invasion fleet waited for her orders. Thousands of ships filled with soldiers eager to claim another victory for the Empire. Below, Earth's defenders scrambled to their positions, knowing they faced impossible odds. General Amy Collins' voice crackled over the communication system. This is Earth Defense Command to Alien Fleet. We know you hold our captain. We demand her immediate return. Zara activated the reply channel. General Collins, your captain is safe. She is here beside me on the bridge. Lisa stepped forward, taking the microphone. Amy, it's Lisa. The princess wants to speak with you directly. She has something important to say. Zara looked at Lisa, then at her assembled officers. Many were confused by the delay. Some showed impatience in their eyes, but her father had given her complete authority over this campaign. The decision was hers alone. General Collins, I am Princess Zara of the Vorthak Empire. For 3 years your people have fought against impossible odds. You have lost ships, cities, entire fleets, yet you continue to resist. Why? Amy's reply came swift and strong. Because freedom is not negotiable. Princess, because every human life matters, because we would rather die on our feet than live on our knees. Zara closed her eyes, feeling the weight of destiny pressing down on her. For 7 centuries, the Vorthak had conquered through strength and fear. They had built an empire spanning 1,000 systems, but they had never encountered anything like humanity's unbreakable spirit. Captain Morgan told me that true strength comes from protecting the weak. Is this what you believe? With every fiber of our being. Amy replied. Strength without compassion is just cruelty. Princess power without purpose is meaningless. Your empire may be vast, but what has it truly accomplished besides spreading fear? Zara opened her eyes and looked at Lisa. The human captain nodded encouragingly, her smile warm, despite everything they had both endured. In that moment, Zara understood what had been missing from her life for so long. Admiral Korek, stand down the invasion fleet. Zara commanded. The bridge erupted in shocked voices. Her second-in-command stepped forward. Princess, you cannot be serious. The Emperor expects. The Emperor gave me authority over this campaign, and I am exercising it. Zara's voice cut through the protests. Send word to the fleet. All ships are to return to defensive positions. She turned to Lisa. Captain Morgan, you and your general will meet me on the surface. We have much to discuss. 3 hours later, in the ruins of New York City's Central Park, representatives from both sides gathered under a white flag. Lisa stood beside Zara, while General Collins led the human delegation. The alien princess had removed her ceremonial armor and wore simple clothes that made her seem less intimidating. I have a proposal, Zara began. The Vorthak Empire has ruled through fear for too long. We have forgotten that true civilization is built on cooperation, not conquest. I offer humanity a choice. Join us not as subjects but as equals. Help us rebuild our empire into something better. Amy Collins studied the alien princess carefully. And, if we refuse, then we leave and never return. Earth will remain free and independent. Zara replied, but I hope you will consider the alternative. Humanity has something the galaxy desperately needs. Your compassion, your courage, your refusal to abandon the weak. We could learn from each other. Lisa placed a hand on Zara's shoulder. The princess risked everything to stop this invasion. Amy, her own people may consider her a traitor for showing mercy. Zara nodded. My father will be furious, but some things are worth the risk. Captain Morgan showed me that strength and kindness are not opposites. They can exist together, and when they do, they create something more powerful than any weapon. General Collins looked at her advisors, then back at the alien princess. This is not a decision I can make alone. It will require a vote from the World Council, but I will recommend they consider your offer. Princess, the fact that you stopped the invasion shows good faith. As the negotiations continued, through the day, Lisa found herself walking with Zara through the damaged city. The alien princess moved carefully around the rubble, her silver eyes taking in the destruction her fleet had caused. I am sorry for this, Zara said quietly. For all the pain my people have brought to yours. The important thing is that you chose to stop it, Lisa replied. That took more courage than any battle. Zara smiled, and it transformed her entire face-making.